There is something particularly delicious, really, about Rob Lowe's predicament. Rupert Lowe's predict, Arthur Lowe's predict, a Reform UK MP suspended, shouting into the void about political assassination, while the very lawyer meant to assess his case is busy disavowing him in a manner that would make even a Roman senator blush. One almost expects Lowe to declaim et tu, KC, as he tumbles from his reform-branded chariot. Lowe has taken issue with his suspension, branding it a hit job for questioning Nigel Farage's leadership. And this is the political equivalent of taking a swing at a captain of a lifeboat and then complaining that the sea is wet. Yet the true comedic apex of this saga is his remarkable ability to attribute statements to a lawyer who, rather inconveniently for him, insists she never uttered a word of them. One can almost hear the lawyer's dismayed sigh echoing through the corridors of Reform HQ. I have seen a number of statements made by Mr. Lowe MP which are attributed to me. I have not expressed either dismay or shock at any time, nor have I said there is zero credible evidence against Mr. Lowe. The very public correction is a thing of beauty, isn't it? A forensic deconstruction of political ragmaticality in real time. It is at this moment that one's mind might drift naturally to Captain Mannering. If only the beleaguered lawyer had had a moment to turn to Lowe and thunder, "Don't tell him, Pike!" For clearly someone did tell him, and he is now blundering through the public record in a manner that would make even Private Fraser clutch his hat in despair. Lowe's frantic protestations. She is shocked. She is dismayed. She has told me repeatedly there is no credible evidence. Carry all the hallmarks of a man drowning in his own alternative facts, his own fecal residue. But there is something almost touching about his attachment to this phantom KC, as though he believes that saying something often enough will actually make it true. It is, if nothing else, a noble approach to self-deception. And then there's the matter of how it all ends. The accusations of bullying, the verbal threats, the scandalous suggestion that Loki's team engaged in derogatory remarks about women all add a deliciously nefandous element to the intrigue. One imagines a final curtain call reminiscent of Theatre of Blood, that magnificent Vincent Price masterpiece in which arrogant critics meet their comeuppance through Shakespearean executions. One can almost picture. Do you remember Arthur Lowe getting into bed and then in the morning his wife pushes his body and the head the head the head moves away from the body. It's sort of etched on my teenage mind. I think it was a film made in 1970 or 1971 or something. It was made on the back of the Dad's Army brilliance at a time when Arthur Lowe's mind was failing a little and he wasn't able to remember as many lines, so he took a lot of really second-rate Hammer horror film parts. And he's brilliant, you know. Lowe's head rolling down Reform UK's makeshift stage, cackling as it goes. And given the party's current penchant for self-immolation, it's entirely possible that the next act involves Nigel Farage quoting Julius Caesar before turning on his latest political Brutus. Who's that going to be? Lee Anderson or Richard Tice? It's Richard Tice's grandfather would be ashamed, really. But there, now we are. Lowe sits as an independent MP, deprived of the Reform whip, and left to make. You know, he could defect to the Conservatives, sweeping declarations about injustice. All the while, his phantom barrister continues to politely deny ever saying anything that supports him. He has, in short, the exact dignity of his namesake, Captain Mannering, losing his rag, barking at Pike, but without any of the charm. And Rob Lowe, you know, we could continue to confuse this man with anybody who's got sort of low-key aspirations. And so in the end, who is he? Who is this Lowe man from formerly from Reform UK? Who is he? If this is truly a political assassination, then much like in Theatre of Blood, it appears that the victim remains enthusiastically assisting in his own demise.